Well, good morning, friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I want to welcome you all to the August 2022 garden tour. If you're new here, my name's Danielle. I garden here in Zone 6B, Southern Pennsylvania. I grow cut flowers in more of a landscape style, and I sell them here at our farm stand. I want you to know that I'm super thankful for you joining me here and that everyone is welcome here on my channel. Whether you're a new gardener, an old gardener, young, old, maybe like me, middle-aged and an old soul, there's a place for everyone here on my channel and definitely a place for everyone in the garden. So let's just start right here, and I can't wait to show you the main flower walk in the driveway garden because a lot has changed over there since you saw it last. But over here in the Hydrangea Room, late August, the hydrangeas are mainly either green or kind of that creamy white. So here you can see Limetta there on the right of your screen, a beautiful lime green. A nice replacement, I think, for the Incredible Hydrangea if you're looking for something a little more dainty and lacy. I really like the look that Limetta brings to the garden. Right next to Limetta, we have this really big panicle hydrangea. This is Strawberry Sunday. Have you seen the pictures of Strawberry Sunday that almost look unreal, unbelievable, where, you know, this whole section is kind of really vibrant pink? Mine never really does that here. Does yours do that where you live? I still really love this look through the Hydrangea Room, even though the pink hydrangeas are now green, and you can see kind of that firelight hydrangea is starting to kind of turn red. It's still beautiful to just see the differing textures and forms of all these hydrangeas. I do have some boxwoods buried within the Hydrangea Room, and so I think maybe fall or early winter, we'll have to kind of analyze the evergreen situation over here because I think we might need some more evergreens. But let's travel through Hummingbird Way. Hummingbird Way is in honor of my grandmother, Martha, and there is a recipient of the Hummingbird Award every year in her honor. I was able to go to that this year and it was really wonderful. You can see I have some apples here growing through Hummingbird Way because we have this wonderful apple tree that the previous owner planted. And I've been trying to kind of bring it back to life because I'm not sure if it was ever really pruned. So I've been trying to open it up gradually as the years go on, bring in some nice airflow into that apple. I'm just loving the cup and saucer vine. How is everyone else's cup and saucer vine doing? Are they flowering for you already? It's really interesting to see how quickly these flowers fade. It seems like every morning I'll come out, and if a flower was looking like this in the evening, it will quickly have dropped the following morning. But lots of buds on these, and it's about, I would say, halfway up the trellis at this point. Those really remind me of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the old one with Gene Wilder. Do you guys like that one? I love old movies. I have all the Doris Day movies and all the TV shows that she was ever in. That's just kind of a little weird quirk about me. But over here in the Hydrangea Room from this angle, I did stick in some salvia. I think I got these salvia on sale for $1 each, so I just thought, you know, why not? I'll just stick them in here for now. Still a little bit of Lysianthus to enjoy over in this garden. And still some yet to bloom. Some dahlias in this garden as well. Creme de Cassis there in the distance, and I'll show you another one up close. So as we swing over to the other side of the Hydrangea Room, and isn't it nice how you can kind of peek through and see Grace's garden there in the distance? So I have a little bit of celosia left over that I haven't cut. This celosia has been cut on pretty heavily, so you're basically just seeing what remains here. I believe we have sylphid celosia here. This is kind of limey yellow. And then this dusty pink is the flamingo feather celosia. I feel like I should have had another cup of coffee before we came out here. I'm worried I'm going to forget some names this evening. Here we have a dahlia called Lifestyle. Beautiful. It looks like somebody's sleeping inside Lifestyle at the moment. So that's a look at how the Hydrangea Room looks here in late August. I'm excited to see what it looks like at the end of September, when hopefully the whole arch is covered with the cup and saucer vine, and hopefully it's a little more floriferous at that point too. Let me take us now, let's go to the raised beds, because I have some really awesome sunflowers that I'm just dying to show you guys. I really hope you love them as much as I do. The mosquitoes are fierce tonight, friends, but I am fiercer. I am fully covered and I have tons of spray on, so hopefully they'll leave us alone. So I suppose that the raised beds have changed a bit since last year. Now I have 10 raised beds, thanks to my very kind husband who built me 2 more this year. I decided to go ahead and lay cardboard down around them and put mulch down. I ordered in a playground mulch, which is this lighter color, and I'm really happy I did that. And I really just want it to look like a room over here. And I think we're getting there. You know, always room for improvement. But I have the vision. I just have to make the vision come to life now, right? So let me show you some different successions that I have going on here. Since I'm only on half an acre, I have to rely really heavily on succession planting. So I have some foxglove there. You might remember there was probably Dara here the last time that you saw it. Here we have the queen lime with red zinnia, looking absolutely gorgeous. In front of both of these front raised beds, I have the raspberry cream gomphrena, which I just think that looks so beautiful. It just looks like a beautiful floral explosion in front of the raised beds. My grandma loved gomphrena. We would make these straw hats, and then we would decorate them with gomphrena and straw flower and celosia, and then we would hang them on the wall as if they were artwork. And so I really love it. The gomphrena really reminds me of her, and I love having it in front of the raised beds this year. Speaking of my grandma, there's her garden right there. The mahogany Splendor Hibiscus are getting big. Love that blue shadow fothergilla. The salvia over here maybe was not a great choice. It got a little bit bigger than I was expecting. But I do like the way that these mahogany Splendor Hibiscus on either side of her chair kind of still draw you into her chair. I think I can do a better job in this garden in the years to come, but I'm happy with where it came from because I had to transition this garden from full shade to full sun this year. And so we'll get there in time, but that's my grandma's chair. So turning us this way, the dahlias are a little bit late this year just because it's still very hot here. It's about, I would say 92 to 95 degrees most days. So the dahlias don't really like it that hot. Give it until September and then we'll really have a nice show over here. But I can show you kind of one of each. This one is Creme de Cognac. Amazing. That's the most floriferous dahlia that I've ever grown, but it's quite short, you can see. Maybe it's only about 2 feet tall, but if you like shorter dahlias and you want one that blooms really early and you love that kind of orangey rust color, I don't think you can go wrong with that one. Here we have Labyrinth, which is, I mean, just gorgeous. Oh, she's so beautiful. This is another must grow in my opinion. It's the first year I've ever grown it. If I had to choose now between this, Cafe au Lait, and Breakout, I think I would choose Labyrinth. I just think it has a little more going on. And it gives me just this really nice, fresh, vibrant feel. And it pairs really beautifully with this one called Melina Fleur. And I'm so sorry guys if I mispronounce anything, please forgive me. I'm really bad with a lot of these names, so I'll just try my best for you guys. Up all these posts I have Thunbergia. You can see the white one has started to make its way all the way up, and the others are kind of just getting going because they were planted a little bit later in the season. Here I have a sunflower, which in terms of a landscape planting, I think it's nice, but I don't like it as a cut flower. I won't grow it again. It's called Sundance Kid. And look how the heads all come off the top like this. I don't know how I would use this as a cut flower, and it's really not what I was expecting. It's beautiful, but if I would have seen a picture of the top of that, I would not have bought that seed. So let me know if you have grown Sundance Kid and if your heads kind of look like mine there. Maybe it's just a phenomena here in my garden. Now here's a sunflower that really fills my heart with joy. This one is called Double Quick. And I think I can tell you guys this because I'll have already delivered these by the time I put this out on YouTube. But I was growing all of these for my mom and dad's anniversary. I guess I should check and see how many years it is for them now. Probably coming up on 40, and my husband and I have our 15-year anniversary this Sunday. So these are all going to my mom as a surprise from my dad. Some celosia here. Not really blooming yet. Same with the Mexican bush sage. That won't bloom for me until late September. Here we have Myrtle's Folly. I think it's really beautiful, but I'm not sure if I would grow it again. I'll have to think about that one a while. What do you guys think? Sweet Love I've been cutting on really heavily, so I'm not sure if there's one that looks good left over. But it's a really beautiful one, Sweet Love. Really nice long vase life, for a dahlia at least. And I love this light pink color with that beautiful yellow center. Have I shown you guys that I threw some forget-me-not seeds in here? I always thought that forget-me-nots were for the spring, so I decided to just throw some seeds in this bed and see what would happen. I literally just threw some seeds in this bed, and they're blooming. Beautiful. I think I'll try a fall sowing of forget-me-not this year and see what happens. So right down from these Double Quick sunflowers, we have that bed of Nigella that we sowed together. Pretty weedy over here, guys. Sorry about that. Need to get my hoe out. But those should be blooming before the first frost hits. You can see the pincushion flower there. I've kind of stopped cutting on it, so it's gone to seed. That bed right there is going to turn into a cool flowers bed, as well as the straw flower bed here. I'll harvest anything that remains, harvest the seed, and we'll pull this right there in the middle of September, and this will all be cool flowers. Because I have to kind of plan for future successions too. That's why you never see all the raised beds totally full and full of blooming flowers, because I always need to flip things around here. Friends, I think on our last tour I said this was Great Silence, and now I'm really confused. I think this is Melina Fleur as well. But, I mean, if you look at the style of it, or the type rather, it looks kind of like a water lily dahlia, right? And then look at this one. Maybe I'm overthinking it. And certainly I should have taken better notes. But this one is definitely Melina Fleur. And that one just looks a little bit different to me in terms of it looking like a water lily one. And I grew Great Silence last year. I know I saved the tubers. So either that is Great Silence or Great Silence is buried somewhere within the borders. Anyway, friends, sorry about that. I'll try to keep better notes next year. This bed is just full of all different varieties of peppers. I like to do stuffed peppers and different dips with peppers. The other night I did a jalapeno popper dip, and I made that a little bit too hot. But just some nice peppers in there. Here's a bed that's kind of in the middle of a succession. So those nasturtiums I did plant early on. Then I came in with a sowing of marigolds, cosmos, and I threw in some dill seed in here too. And I do see the dill starting to pop up. Tomatoes are still going pretty strong. Lots of yellow tomatoes this year. And I need to get around to making some more salsa and pies and all kinds of stuff. And that bed there in the distance is just filled with more peppers. So that's pretty much how the raised bed gardens look late August. As soon as I harvest these sunflowers, which is going to be this evening, I'm immediately going to replace them tomorrow morning with my final succession of sunflowers, which is the final round of Sunflower Steve's sunflowers. And that's the succession that hopefully will bloom. Sometimes it blooms for me, sometimes it doesn't if we get an early first frost, but I feel like it's always kind of worth a try. Now I want to take you to the entrance of the main flower walk so you can get a look at all these gorgeous dahlias as you walk through the garden. So my favorite thing about the main flower walk this year versus other years is that I put all my seed dahlias kind of scattered throughout the main flower walk. I didn't know what color they would be. I didn't know how tall they would be or what shapes they would be. And it just kind of worked out well. But before we look at that, oh my goodness, friends, I have to show you these sunflowers. They just started to bloom. So this is going to be succession number 8, I think it was. Check out this awesome sunflower. Let me get you a better one. This is the cherry chocolate sunflower. I got these seeds, I think I ordered them from Baker Creek. But wow, if you like a dark colored sunflower, and I certainly do, this is a beautiful one. I planted these really close together, probably about, I would say, 3 inches apart. And you can see how big they are. They are at 3 inches apart. A great size for arranging. The Firelight Hydrangea there, oh, look at that ginormous weed right there. Oh well, what can you do? Look at that Firelight Hydrangea, turning that beautiful, beautiful, vibrant red color for fall. And it's nice to kind of have these dark red sunflowers right next to them. But let me turn this slowly here. You can see the obedient plant has started to bloom. The one I have is the purple variety. I believe there's also a white variety. I don't have any of that. But we have some more Gomphrena below, a little bit of Rebecca left. I was cutting on that pretty heavily. But then as we look down the main flower walk, and I hope, my friends, that the camera will do this justice. The colors never really look the same when I'm viewing them in my editing program, but I love the oranges and the reds and the pinks. I don't know, just something about those colors kind of wake me up, get me excited for the day. I don't know, it just makes me happy. I'm just so happy with how the main flower walk looks this year. So we planted this salvia together. I'm going to throw the name up on the screen because I'm drawing a blank. I have Rebecca just sprinkled all throughout the main flower walk. This beautiful, beautiful dark colored shrub you see here on the left side of your screen is a tiny wine 9-bark, one of my favorite shrubs. Friends, what do you think about me putting another one of these service berries right here in the entryway so that you have a service berry on both sides? Do you think that would make the garden feel too enclosed, or do you think that would be a good idea if I stuck another service berry right there? So let's go on through and see some of these gorgeous dahlias. And I think we even still have a monarch around. It's about 7 o'clock now, but to me, this is why you grow seed dahlias and why you grow vibrant colored blooms. It's for the monarchs, it's for the bees, the butterflies. It's for just the sheer enjoyment of looking at something and saying, wow, that's just spectacular. And look at how tall these dahlias are, friends. That orange one right there, I don't know, maybe 6.5, 7 feet tall. Here we have our first elephant ear that we planted together. Goodness, when was that? Very early spring. We started that in a pot. This one is called Diamond Head, and I've kind of surrounded it with salvia. Probably should have planted a shorter salvia around it in retrospect, but I thought it was going to get 4 feet high. Maybe it will in time. Let's wait and see. Here's another one on this side of the border. If you saw the vlog I did where I rooted just a leaf of Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus in water, this is that Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus right here. So it's way far behind all my other ones, but it did take just fine. But I really love the elephant ears. I love the dark color and love just that contrast and tropical feel that it brings to the garden. Of course, you gotta love a Limelight Hydrangea, right? How could you not? But this, friends, for me, just makes me so happy. I wanna overlay some footage for you guys of what this area looks like in the day when the sun's out, because it's just brimming with butterflies and bees everywhere. So here's another seed dahlia. Beautiful pink one with a vibrant lemon center on that. As we go this way, this seed dahlia has really small flower heads, but I love the color. So dainty and charming. And it just worked out beautifully that the foliage is a little bit darker on this one. Right next to it is that Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus. Then I have my flower lady, where underneath her I have some lamb's ear from my grandma's garden. And look, friends, check out the Winterberry. It started to change color. The berry has started to change colors. So I love this right here. You know, it's just really about foliage color and different texture and weeds. It happens, but I like that moment. And my bee friends, they like it too. Let me turn you this way. Here's another really beautiful seed dahlia. What do you guys think of this one? Beautiful deep maroon color on this, kind of recurved petals on all of these. But this particular elephant ear here, it did get a little bit bigger. Maybe this one's like 3.5 feet tall. But I like that combo of the dark purple with the Rudbeckia. More seed dahlias as you go back there, but they're all kind of similar. And this seed dahlia almost looks like ketchup and mustard. Isn't that one fun? So I'm not sure if I'll keep any of these tubers, but I just think it's fun to grow dahlias from seed in a really great and inexpensive way to grow dahlias. I want to focus in real quickly on the rue because I had mentioned that the swallowtail caterpillar was all over it. And so you can kind of see some there, but they were all over it yesterday. And so you can imagine what it's going to be like when all of them turn into butterflies. It's going to be really magical. So let's keep on walking, friends. Another limelight here. Just starting to get a little bit of burn on the limelights, but that's okay. So this is kind of where we started the tour. We were back behind my hydrangea room. And so we'll just travel on. You can see my Annabelle Hydrangea, as always, completely flopped over. It's got all kinds of stakes and ties in it, trying to hold it upright. I love all the differing textures and colors right here. The Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus. Then we have some lamb's ear with a Weigela. We have some Amsonia. This purple here is Annie's Hyssop. The vine that I was attempting to grow this year, I think that was Love Vine, and I don't see any flowers on it yet. So I'm not sure what I did wrong on that one, but oh well, we'll see what happens, right? Here we have my husband. He was out getting some things so we can have s'mores tonight. We're gonna do a fire after this. Here we have the gorgeous Diva Dahlia. If you love purple dahlias and you're looking for a beautiful decorative dahlia in purple, hands down, Diva is a winner. Some variegated sage down there. I stuck in a Anna's Magic Ball right there. And then we have another seed dahlia. You can see they're just all so tall. And let me see if I can get one. They're kind of all going over at this point. But it's a beautiful striped pink and white one with a yellow center. And then down from that, we have Creme de Cassis. Beautiful. Lots of bug damage on that one. And then we find ourselves back at my grandma's garden, where just this mini hedge of Gara leads us to where we left off. And I'm not sure I showed you what is growing up these panels, but it's Goji Berry. I had purchased some Goji Berry on clearance probably right when we first moved here, and it has really given me a lot of trouble. Oh, here's another anemone type dahlia. That's lifestyle there too. But anyway, the Goji berries gave me a really bad problem because they would just, they kind of arch, and then every time they touch the ground, they root there, and it's just super hard to get rid of it. So just something to be aware of that I wasn't aware of. I had no idea that Goji Berry rooted that vigorously. If maybe it's something that you want, but if it's something you don't want, I just wanted to let you guys know that. So now let's head over through Gracie's garden and see the transformation that I'm attempting over in the driveway garden. Gracie's garden is a full shade garden where I try to put little to no money into it. I did go ahead and purchase some evergreens this year. but mainly these are just divisions from other plants I have here on the property. So here's a look at how the driveway garden is shaping up so far. If you see that addition there with the blue door, that's where I do all my seed starting, where I have my lights set up. But if you missed the video on me renovating this garden, I can put it in the description box below. All I did over here was really try to establish, oh my goodness guys, I think we're about to get a big storm here. But all I did was push my panicle hydrangeas to the back of this border. I also added in some 9-barks, some red twig dogwoods, and I purchased this new Pinky Winky hydrangea for this area as well. But I just did sheep mulching throughout this garden. And I also made this dahlia arrangement this morning. I was out here trying to get some pictures of it. And it's just a nice pathway that leads through this garden, hoping to get that park feel for this garden, just a nice informal garden, because this is really kind of an area that we don't use too much. We park our cars here, and we really spend all our time in the main flower walk. So my hope is that as the years go on, I'll be able to add more to this garden as time and money allows. But for now, as we head into fall, I'm really happy to just have the bones established, to have some new shrubs in this garden to enjoy. And I know I saw a lot of suggestions about adding some evergreen interest into this garden. So I think I definitely will go ahead and add in some boxwoods. And I think another problem, or maybe not problem, but just something that's happening over here that's not going so well, is just this tricolor beech, guys. It's just really not thriving over here. And I think it would make a big difference to maybe have, I don't know, maybe a birch over here. I'm not sure if that would be too big, but something maybe that's multi-trunked that would provide winter interest via the bark. Maybe a white birch would be nice. But I think too, just having this tree here right kind of in a central spot, and just to have it struggling so bad, I think it might be time for me to send this to the hospital garden and to bring in a new tree. So let me know if you have any suggestions for this area. And I'd like to bring in some boxwoods also. But basically, I'm just thinking more of a shrub border over here to start. And then we'll bring back in the cut flowers. I kind of developed this garden in a backwards manner. I put in all the cut flowers first, and I completely forgot to put in any of my shrubs and evergreens and things like that. And now I think I'm just really excited to establish this as a park garden. Northlawn Park, if you will. Well friends, I think I better wrap up the tour here because it seems that it's going to start raining at any second. I want to wish you all a wonderful day out in your gardens and send you sincere thanks for spending some time here in my garden with me. Until next time, happy gardening and be safe from any impending storms. Bye!